Okay, so on a very large screen in the room, I would have it starting like this, and I would start by showing them what the lines look like so they could just check that themselves. I wouldn't really focus too much on the actual coordinates. I would just focus on this. And then I would say, well, let's start looking at the slopes. The slope of the first one, we go up 2 and over 1, so that would be a slope of 2 over 1 or 2. Number 2, we would go up 1 and then over 2, so that would be a slope of 1/2. Number 3, we would go down 2 and then over 3, so that would be negative 2/3. And number 4, we would go down 3 and to the right 1, so that would be a slope of negative 3. And this I would be walking through and clicking on the screen as I walk through it. Then I would go on to the y-intercept, and I would say, okay, the y-intercept on number 1, where does it cross the y-axis? Right there. There'd be a little noise, and that would be 0, 4. Number 2, where does that y-intercept? It's down here at negative 3, and that would be therefore 0, negative 3. And number 3, the y-intercept would be right there, therefore 0, 1. And the last one would be number 4, would be negative 2 rather, so it's 0, negative 2. And then I would hit the next button, and I would not hit any buttons for a long time because the music is going to take over, and I'm just going to talk through it. And I've got the timing down so that the music goes with the PowerPoint. And I'm not sure if it's going to come out on this video or not well enough, but you'll see what I mean when you actually play the video or the PowerPoint yourself and actually show it. But so I'm going to click the next button, and you may or may not hear music, but I'll walk through it anyway. So right now I'm showing all the equations that are associated with each one of these graphs. And I ask the students if they notice anything, any patterns associated with all of this information. And I begin to point out on number 1, the 2's, holding 2 over 1. The 1/2 on both there. Number 3, the negative 2/3. And number 4, the negative 3. Maybe there's something else similar. With numbers there. Negative 3 and negative 3. And 1 and the 1. And the negative 2 and the negative 2. And now as I walk through this, I tell them that there's one major overarching pattern for the entire thing. And I wait for a certain part in the music, and I tell them that it's y equals mx plus b. And we call that the slope-intercept form. And the music goes on a little bit. We can talk a little bit about it. Usually about this time the kids are like, whoa, and it's really cool. And I'll hit the button again to show slope-intercept form. And the music dies out. And then I will most likely give out a worksheet where we'll actually practice this skill of just taking the equation and going directly to the graph instead of having to go through all of the tables and plotting points that way. That's the deal. I'm sending you the actual PowerPoint file separate. You may or may not want to tweak it, but at least the graphics are there, and hopefully it's useful to you, and I hope it is. Hope you have a great evening.